Hoorah. Roll call, please.
Chairman Terrace,
Present?
Vice Chair Porter,
Present.
Commissioner Gilbert,
Present.
Commissioner Espander,
Present.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Present.
all present, 2 vacancies.
Okay, do we have any oral communication requests from the audience on anything not on the agenda?
We do, we have 2.
Oh, not on the agenda?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, we'll go and take the first one.
Pedro Molina,
It's the first time in 15 years that's happened. That's right, good.
Hi, good evening, members of the Planning Commission. My name is Pedro Molina. I currently reside in Rialto, and I am the, well, thank you for allowing me to address, address you guys today. I lived in Rialto most of my life, and I own the building across the street, the flower shop. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it.
Okay,
Yeah, so the reason I'm here is I 2 days ago I met up with the city manager and Kobe. Well, the reason I'm here is because the zoning changed on that property, and the main issue is that the property was once a residence and then converted to commercial. So I wanted to see if, oh, sorry, can you guys hear me now?
I can hear you.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I was looking at it's been an issue. It's been red tagged for a while, and it's supposed to be mixed use, but it's currently zoned as commercial. And I wanted to see if I could conditionally get approval for it to be the mixed use, the original mixed use and grandfathered in, and then later to amend in ordinance that was passed last year, which, well, I think it was last year. It's ordinance 1681, where it would layer my property to be residential and keep the current use, which is industrial mixed use. So, because this property originally was a residential use, and the back unit was used as a house, but the records are so old that they kept it as a storage facility in the back, but it was always used as a house in the back. So doing that will relieve me from a lot of red tags that the property has issues with. So I did talk to Kobe and the city manager, but I did tell him I was going to stop by and just kind of let you guys know if it comes across, or to be honest, I don't know how this works. So I was like, you know what? I was supposed to come November 20th,
Okay.
but the meeting was canceled, and then I sent out an email and I told him, hey, let's meet up before this meeting so I could let you guys know, like, hey, like, if it's an issue for you guys to layer my property in that ordinance that was passed a couple weeks ago. Well, last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was that flower shop always in operation?
It was an operation, and there were some issues, but it's back and forth that
Okay.
that as soon as a tenant moved out, and it's something that just want to move forward with, and it's always been a flower shop, and it's gonna be a flower shop, but the back building was a residence, but it got red tagged because the zoning changed, and nobody came to the meetings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, excuse me, is your request then to?
My
change it?
request is just to be added to the layer. There's a layer that was passed, ordinance 1681.
Mhm.
And what it did, it kept the zoning the same, but it layered as a residential. So what that will help for me, it would help me keep my mixed-use property, and even give me the option to even build a couple more units.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you
So-
talking to the right people?
Yeah. No. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh,
So.
I mean, Kobe
So,
knows
so,
that.
so just, there was a couple of the properties that were layered, but mine was missed.
Oh, okay.
And that's all I was asking, yeah. So,
Thank you. Okay, thank you, sir.
any questions or any?
No, just keep talking
Yeah.
to Kobe then, whatever paperwork they need to process up for us. to
Yeah,
review,
yeah.
and
So I, to be honest, I never came to a meeting, and I just read up in it, and I saw everything passing. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a shot.
It's
So,
always worth giving it a shot, man.
yeah, so.
Look, Colby, does that have to be a request in writing or
Does he have to
something?
do a condition development permit request?
There's a couple steps to the process because it's twofold. There's a building permit side to this process, and there's a land use permit side to the process that Pedro is under. his red tag scenario came through a code enforcement complaint and a violation on that side that had to do with, some construction activity that was on site without permits. That's more how the red tags got applied to the
Okay.
front structure and the rear structure. But he does have an interesting situation that his zone is commercial manufacturing, so it's a CM zone. When we did the housing overlay with the housing element project last year in '23, we did a housing overlay that was over residential properties to upzone them, and we did the overlay to include, some commercial properties. So you'd have a mixed use, commercial, residential, or housing. The CM zone or industrial zones were not a part of that. They were seen as manufacturing industrial and then would not be an appropriate mixed use. So we didn't apply an overlay to those zones. But that's Pedro's request today, and the fact that he has a blend of commercial manufacturing, it makes it's in a smaller space in our code. So Michael Millheiser and I discussed this a little bit yesterday after our meeting.
Yeah.
We're going to take it back with staff. We're going to chew on it, and we're going to get Pedro a response in terms of next steps to reconcile his building
Okay.
issues. And then if there's a land use application that needs to be submitted for a rezone, a change of zone to a mixed use or commercial or residential, we can talk to him about that, the next steps there.
Okay.
The housing overlay is not such an easy thing that you just brush it over a property. There's legislative actions to be taken, and of course, this body. So that's a far more complex
Okay.
process, but we're gonna get him his options of how to execute what he's,
Perfect.
what he's talking about.
Or if there's a way for just to get the code enforcement off my back and just have it up and
Well,
running.
the-
Yeah. No, I know, but
Yeah, the
it's,
best is just follow the rules, and that tends to
Yeah.
do it by itself.
Yeah, because it was always a house. It was always a house that got converted to a commercial, and
Yeah.
it's really been kind of stressful just it being vacant for almost 3
Yeah.
years now,
Just-
and losing money. So
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
just you're
No, I
doing
know.
all the right steps, though.
No,
and then with the stuff with the code, I mean, just compartmentalize
No, yeah.
by priority what needs to happen first, and just write a list and
Yeah,
start
well,
knocking it out.
the main step was to go to the zoning because that's one of the main issues.
Yeah.
The zoning change without anybody coming to the meeting. So
Yeah, no
So
problem.
that's probably the community needs to be more educated on that because
Yeah.
I see that's an issue that happens. So.
Yeah, no, we like business, so
Yeah,
whenever
yeah, no,
you're talking
and
to
it's
the
a
right
small
folks,
business,
and so yeah, so
Just
go and-
it's always been a flower shop, and the new tenant is going to be a flower shop.
It has been a
And,
Oh, yeah,
and
for
it's
sure.
nice. Mabel's a lady. She was nice, and she's willing to come back, but she's in Ontario, so.
Okay.
So yeah, she's still interested.
all right.
So
Looks like you've taken the right step, and
Yeah, you're talking right.
well, it's been a long 3 years, so I didn't know how to go forward with it, but I had to educate myself, and this whole year I've been just going back to the videos and learning.
All
And
right.
I see there's some empty seats, and I'm like, look, maybe I'll just apply for them.
That's right.
Yeah.
Good luck to you, man.
No,
Good luck.
already.
All right.
So everything is good, or?
Yeah, well, we'll talk separately
you
on the
guys
side.
keep talking,
We'll go
okay.
through
Yeah,
the process.
okay,
All right.
okay, sounds good, thank you.
Okay.
thank
You're
you for
welcome.
coming in.
Do we have another request?
I just came to support my husband.
Oh,
You
okay.
know, just please, if you guys could support us, that'd be great. It's been a quite cumbersome situation, so,
No problem.
it'd be great. Thank
All
you guys for your time.
Thank you. All right. Okay, any other requests to speak on? No?
That was it.
Okay, we have 2 planning commission meeting minutes for review.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
Likewise, thank you.
Move to approve the planning commission minute meeting for October 16th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No? Okay.
Move to approve the planning commission minute meeting for November 6th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Any opposed? Okay, all right. First item on the agenda, please. Thank you.
Good evening, Chair and Planning Commissioners. I'll be making the presentation here on the first public hearing item tonight. The file numbers for reference are conditional development permit number 2023-0012, precise plan and design number 2023-0020, and environmental assessment review number 2023-0025. This first slide showing you the location of the project. If this might look a little familiar to you, this parcel, the Planning Commission took an action on it in February when it approved a conditional development permit and a precise plan of design for a Chick-fil-A. So that was the 1.8 acres of the parcel that was approved for that earlier this year. And now before you tonight, the remainder of the property, 3.08 acres of this slightly over 5 acre parcel, now has a project before you tonight. Again, this site is located on the west side of Larch Avenue, approximately 340 feet north of Foothill Boulevard. It is within the Foothill Boulevard specific plan and has a land use designation of commercial pedestrian. To the north of the site, there's a single-family residential tract. To the east is the Century Communities residential tract. And to the south, immediately to the south, is the mobile gas station and then the Charlie's Cheesesteak Restaurant. And on the south, across Foothill Boulevard, is a county facility. And then to the west is the Tudor Plaza Retail Center. So what the applicant proposes to do to the remainder of the site is to develop a self-storage facility. You can see the site plan here. This kind of shows you all of how it would work and how it would kind of flow into both the Chick-fil-A and the neighboring Tudor Plaza and the gas station to the south. So I've drawn a red boundary around the area that's specifically the self-storage facility. So you can see it's that north portion of the parcel. The applicant would propose to develop 5 buildings. Building A would be on the east end, closest to the Larch Avenue frontage. That's a 2-story building that would be an indoor climate-controlled storage building. Its size is 43,564 square feet. Then buildings B, C, D, and E, those are on the west side and basically form a perimeter around the rest of the site there. Those would be your more typical drive-up storage with the roll-up door. In total, there would be 443 storage units. 337 of those would be the indoor units and 106 drive-up units. The facility will provide 12 passenger vehicle parking spaces, which exceeds the minimum requirement of 3 parking spaces. It'll also have 2 loading spaces for customers. And access to the site will be provided to 2 driveways, one new one that will be connected to Larch Avenue. I've shown them here on the site plan with the red arrows. And then that one on the bottom there, that's an existing driveway connected to Foothill Boulevard. It's a shared driveway between the gas station property and this property. Next, this is an architectural rendering of the development. Specifically, we're looking at Building A as if we were at Larch Avenue. So you can just see there from the image, there's significant articulation that's been incorporated into this building, both horizontally and vertically. There will be projected masses on all 4 sides of each building that have a depth change of at least 3 feet to avoid any kind of monotonous wall planes. And then the height variations range from as low as 13 feet up to 34 feet at the top of that tower element there on Building A. And then each building will also feature numerous tower elements with pitched roofs and concrete tile roofing. The exterior finishes of all the buildings will include a stucco finish, and that will be painted in neutral earth tone colors. Will also include split face block accents. I already mentioned the concrete tile roofing. The applicant will also install vine trellises and metal eyebrow accents. And then there will also be some glass storefronts on the south side of Building A. This building's really been designed to more mimic the retail architecture of the Tudor Plaza adjacent, kind of keep that continuity. The next slide, this is the landscape plan submitted by the applicant. This site will have a landscape coverage of 14.9%, which exceeds the minimum requirement of 5%. The landscaping will come from a 13-foot landscape setback along Larch Avenue, also a 15-foot landscape buffer along the north property line. That's the same buffer that the Tudor Plaza to the west has. So the applicant proposes to continue that buffer all the way across. Then also additional planters just around the perimeter of the site and the perimeter of the buildings. The applicant will also install planting in the parkways. Each planter will include drought-tolerant plants, trees every 30 linear feet, and an abundant amount of shrubs and ground cover. As far as California Environmental Quality Act is concerned, there was an initial study prepared by Salem Engineering Group. The study determined that the project would have a less than significant impact with the incorporation of certain mitigation measures. And as a result, a mitigated negative declaration was prepared. The mitigated negative declaration was circulated for a 30-day public comment period that ran from September 9th of this year to October 8th. During that 30-day public comment period, no comment letters were received. So the self-storage facility before the commission tonight, it is consistent with the commercial pedestrian land use district. It does also meet or exceed the city's development standards in both the Foothill Boulevard specific plan and the city's design guidelines. It is also consistent with the commercial uses both to the south and to the west of the site. The environmental studies before you tonight conclude that the impacts of the project would be less than significant with the incorporation of the mitigation that is cited in the mitigation monitoring reporting program attached to your agenda report. The project is also consistent with the general plan, specifically those goals listed there, 216, 222, and 31, which basically require developments to improve architectural quality in the city of Rialto and also to strengthen the economic base of the city. Public hearing notices were mailed for this item tonight to all property owners within 660 feet of the subject site, and it was also published in the San Bernardino Sun newspaper. We only received one phone call, that was earlier today, from a resident that lives on Grove, the street that's immediately to the north, and they wanted to express their support for the project. And so with that concludes my presentation. The staff recommends that the Planning Commission adopt the resolutions before you tonight, approving the conditional development permit, precise plan and design, and the mitigated negative declaration. That
I
concludes
have
my
a
presentation.
question for you.
Yep.
Is it typical that when we have a project like that, when the applicant files an application, that they're supposed to sign filed before we approve this, or is that something else?
That they file the application before it's approved?
Yeah. Well, but they're supposed to sign that they
Yes.
filed for that.
Yes, yeah, a sign posted on the site, that
Yeah.
is, yes, typical, yes. Mhm.
Okay.
Open public? Does the applicant like to speak?
There is a representative here, I don't know if you wish to speak tonight, you want to come on up?
It's up to you. What a great business. I wish I would've gotten in business. People get emotionally attached to their junk. They don't wanna let it go.
Just to introduce myself, so I'm Ryan Fryer, I'm with Dasher and Tabata. I'm actually the construction manager for, third-party construction manager for Property Mobile. I was part of the construction team that built the Chevron that's right there at the corner. So I've been with this owner for the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
So I'm just helping him with this, and I'm also, in the background, been working with Chick-fil-A and working with them on their portion as
Excellent.
well. So
Okay.
I'm kind of well involved with the project, so. So I'm just here to answer any questions you guys have, any concerns, comments, anything of that nature, so Daniel kind of did my job, so I don't really have anything else to present, to be honest with you.
Right.
So,
It'll be full as soon as it's built,
yeah.
I'm sure.
What is the front portion of that property? Is that the, maybe I'm misreading that or not understanding what the property looks like, because I see like an L
Yeah.
with a,
So that little block to the southeast has currently been approved previously, and that got approved to be a Chick-fil-A. So that portion, that's not part of
Right.
our, yeah. So that's on our property, it was submitted and approved back in February.
so that's still pending.
No, it's been approved, and they're actually working on their construction drawings. Right, as of the last time I talked with them, they were on their second round of comments.
Okay.
So they're already in their construction drawing phase.
Yeah, I heard about the Chick-fil-A, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, and they're significantly ahead of us in terms of schedule, but we're trying to catch up a little bit with them. Because obviously, we are responsible for the offsite improvement, so we are doing the improvements that are on Larch, Foothill Boulevard, the drive aisle. That's our responsibility as the landlord to do that work. So we've been working with Colby and Daniel in terms of, there's also some ponding issues that we're gonna be taking care of as part of the development on Foothill as well, so.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions, any requests to speak on this item?
Move to close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? Okay, do I have a motion, anything?
Move to adopt the attached resolution Exhibit H, I, and J, thereby approving the mitigated negative declaration prepared for the project and thereby approving conditional development permit number 2023-0012 and precise plan of design number 2023-0020, subject to the findings and conditions therein.
Second.
All in favor?
Approve.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you. Good luck. That's great. Heavy demand for those. Car wash conversion.
Yeah.
All right. I know this area pretty well.
Good evening, Chair, Planning Commissioners. So I will be presenting the second item on the agenda today. The project numbers are Conditional Development Permit 2022-0028, Precise Plan of Design 2022-0051. Okay. So for your consideration tonight, the project location is actually on the northwest corner of Ayala Drive and Baseline Road. More specifically, it's one parcel, about 1 acre in size. It's part of a 3-parcel shopping center there. You're all probably familiar with the Farmer Boys and Popeyes car wash. This is actually located within the Renaissance specific plan. This whole corner here is a general commercial zone, along with across the street. So the south side of the street there on Baseline is not part of the Renaissance specific plan, but there is the Baseline right away and then some residential development to the south. You have a self-storage to the west, a gas station across the way on Ayala, and then some vacant land to the north and northeast. So this is the site layout here for you. It kind of highlights the proposal at just under 4,000 square foot facility, but that includes everything from the 118-foot long tunnel, 161 for equipment, electrical room, and then there are about 565 square feet that are going to be allocated for retail, office, and restroom services. The site will have vacuum stations, 11 vacuum stations, 8 parking spaces. The queuing does accommodate for approximately 20 cars in total, 15 in the prepay position, and then nearly 5 to the tunnel entrance, and then all of the corresponding lighting, paving. So the car wash that's out there today is a coin-operated car wash where you just kind of insert your $5, you get into the bay, you hand wash it yourself. That structure will be modified, and they're going to keep the structure itself, but now it's going to become that express tunnel at 118 feet in length there. So that's what this kind of highlights here, is that it is a remodel of the existing structure. You know, the queuing lane along the north, the vacuum stations are centralized with the new trash enclosure, but all of the access to the site will remain the same. There's 2 driveways on Ayala with that street and its median. Those are limited to right in, right out only. There is an existing access off of Baseline, but it's through the shopping center with reciprocal access. The only difference is I think one of the driveways, to help benefit, you know, circulation and avoid conflict, the driveway is being shifted to the north to create more separation for public works requirement, separation between driveways. And so the elevations for this, they're contemporary architecture, and they include a stucco finish with some tan base colors. There's accent, you know, red trim there. The variety of roof forms. We have some flat, we have some parapet and roof pitches. Stone veneer has been incorporated along with some glazing there and the metal eyebrow canopies. And then there's different roof forms along with the roof heights. In terms of the landscaping, they're going to maintain perimeter landscaping and enhance that a little bit more. So to the tune of about 13% for coverage, 16 foot for the front landscape. There's actually going to be 20 feet there. I think there's a 4-foot easement that's landscaped for the right-of-way. But the perimeter will include all of the trees, shrubs, and ground cover throughout the entire site, actually. So this project is before you tonight because it, establishment or operation of a car wash does require a conditional development permit. But this project is consistent with not only the general commercial designation from the Renaissance Pacific Plan, but the city's guidelines as well, or design standards. The general plan goals of 2-16, 2-22, and 3-1 are also consistent with it. Notices for this project were sent out. It was a 660-foot radius for all the owners. It was also published in the newspaper, and during that comment period, Planning Division did not receive any letters or any emails or calls for the project. This project does qualify for categorical exemption Class 1 for an existing facility. And with that, it's Planning's recommendation that the Planning Commission determine the exemption Class 1 for the project, and to adopt the resolutions Exhibit F and G to approve the conditional development permit and precise plan of design respectively to allow the development of, or the development and the actual operation of the car wash at 1230 North Ayala, subject to the findings and conditions therein. That's all I have for you tonight. I also noticed that the applicant is available too when we get to that point, if you'd like to ask any questions.
Right now, it's just 4 bays or something like that right now, isn't it?
I'd have to look at the street view, but I think there's,
It's an older style type
yes,
one.
yeah,
Yeah.
I get the
It's got
color.
tumbleweeds in it right now.
Does it?
Yeah. So if you've noticed, the site is actually fenced off. They had to start, there's some of the covers over the vacuums were degraded and they were falling down themselves. So those have been demo permit and they've been removed. And then they were having issues too with break-ins and people stealing like the copper and stuff like that. So they've implemented some security and construction fencing at this point.
Okay.
And that's part of the deconstruction?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Don't have to pay dump fees that way, I guess. I don't know, but still paying. All right.
It's an ugly eyesore right now.
Yeah, it is. Okay, let's go and open the public hearing. Any requests to speak on this item? Applicant, would you like to speak? You're more than welcome.
If you have any questions,
No, I don't have any. You guys have any questions, applicant?
I was just the one, if you don't
Yes, sir.
mind. So you're expanding the existing or the former car wash, and you're, what is that? Tearing down the old one and building the new one, or how does that
No,
work?
okay, the existing building is composed of 7 bays. We're tearing down a portion that was automated.
Mhm.
That section is roughly about 1,000 square feet. And we're maintaining that 6, and then on the sides, we're enclosing it and creating a tunnel. With the glass and thing, so it will, and then thanks to the planning staff and the fire department, they suggested to come up with this route, which it's kind of a difficult site originally to come up with the system to operate. And as I said, I really sincerely thanks to the staff that they recommended this model to create a kind of flow. So we basically maintaining all the roof structure, everything except just adding roughly about 1,000 square feet, 500 retail and 500 equipment room to the side. And this way we will maintain the whole building rather than creating too much cost to the construction.
And the drainage will be the same?
Pardon me? Drainage will be the
drainage?
same, yes.
Here,
We're not touching anything except we're demoing the canopies
Uh-huh.
and rebuilding it again with the steel frame. And then for the future, we're gonna put a solar panel at the top to use for energy purposes to save energy. And then adding, as Daniel indicated, we just roughly about 13-14% landscaping, more landscaping to enhance it.
Okay.
Because unfortunately, we have a lot of break-ins in there. They stole everything.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. What can we do?
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Is anybody else gonna speak?
No, nobody else?
Move to close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No opposed? All right, do I have a motion?
Determined that the project is categorically exempt pursuant to section number 15301, class 1, existing facilities of the California Environmental Quality Act. Direct staff to file a notice of exemption and to adopt the attached resolution Exhibit F and Exhibit G to approve conditional development permit number 2022-0028 and precise plan of design number 2022-0051 respectively to allow the development and operation of a car wash located at 1230 North of Olive Drive, Assessor's parcel number 0264-212-48, subject to the findings and conditions therein.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, no opposed? Good luck. Appreciate you cleaning it up and getting
Thank you
them
for
out.
coming in.
Thank you. All right. I think that was our last item, right? Let's see here. Yep. Okay. Community development, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chairman and Commissioners. As we get into the new year, we'll have the Foothill Central Specific Plan come before council. Next Tuesday at the council, it's intended that council will set that public hearing officially for the 14th. So that's, the culmination of 2 or 3 years and a $500,000 grant, and a lot of public meetings that have been put to work. So we think we have a final product there that should be, hopefully is acceptable to council in January. We do have, I think, public support that'll come in, like the general plan update. We have public support that'll likely come in and share their public comments in support of the project. So I think we're good on that side as well. The other project that you had taken an action on, an industrial project on Locust and West Coast up in that part of town, it went to council in November on an appeal of your action. It is anticipated to be on the agenda for next Tuesday to take, so council can take its next steps in that appeal action. So we await to see what comes on Tuesday with that project. And then we have AB 98. We have land use applications coming in for industrial warehouses that we are reviewing. Planning team is reviewing them consistent with AB 98, and we are planning our code updates in the spring to summer of 25 to include the language for AB 98 and other legislative actions that the state took. So that's all coming forward. And then outside of that, just happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I'll see you after the 1st.
Same to you, for sure. Planning Commission comments? Any comment? Thank you for the card and the chocolates, appreciate it.
Robert,
Sir?
thank you.
Thank you for the
Thank you for the cards.
candy.
Okay, thanks, sir.
You're welcome. I would like to share with you that I'm going to beat Jerry out. I gave notice this morning to the firm that I'll be retiring, effective on the 20th of this month. And so it's been an honor and a pleasure to serve as counsel to this planning commission. You've got outstanding staff that's a pleasure to work with, and so I wish you all the best and happy holidays.
Likewise.
Yeah,
All the very
congratulations.
best to you.
They say the second time is sweeter. I'll find
Yeah,
that out
well,
too. So.
I'll find out soon. Won't I?
All right, congratulations. That's awesome. It's a good deal.
Thank you.
Okay.
Move to adjourn.
Okay. No one opposes. Good deal. Thank you. And Merry Christmas to you guys. Appreciate it.